Good morning, students. In continuation with the topic energy resources, where in my previous session I've explained to you the conventional sources of energy. So today we are going to do the non-conventional sources of energy. Well, children, you know very well that the growing consumption of energy has resulted in an increasing dependency on fossil fuels, that is on coal, oil and gas. And the rising price of oil, gas and the potential shortage have raised an uncertainties about the security of these energy resources in near future. So today there is a need of an hour that this increasing use of fossil fuel, which is also causing the serious environmental problems. So what other option do we have? So the other option is the use of the renewable energy, that is the energy sources like solar energy, wind energy, tidal energy or a biomass and so on. So these are called non-conventional energy sources. And you know that India is blessed with an abundant amount of sunlight, water, wind and biomass. So it has the largest, let's say, programs for the development of these non-conventional sources of energy. So the very first non-conventional sources of energy is a nuclear atomic energy. And children, do you know that this non-conventional source of energy is obtained by altering the structure of atoms. And when such an alteration is made, then much of the energy has been released. And this heat which has been released is used to generate the electric power, where uranium and thorium, which are available in Jharkhand and Aravalli range of Rajasthan, are used for generating the atomic or nuclear power. Then we have a solar energy. When we talk about a solar energy, children, do you know that India is a tropical country and we have an enormous amount of the solar energy, where there is a photovoltaic technology which converts the sunlight directly into electricity. Now this solar energy is becoming a very popular, let's say specifically in rural remote areas where a lot of solar plants have been set up. And you know, in India, the largest solar plant of India, which is located in Madhapur near Bhuj, where they use the solar energy to sterilize the milk cans. And in the near future, it is expected that solar energy will be able to minimize the dependence of rural household on firewood and cattle dung cakes. So which in turn, of course, will contribute towards the environmental conservation. Then we have a wind power. You all are familiar with the wind power. Do you know that India now is ranking somehow the first in the world to the wind superpower, means the largest wind farm cluster in India is located in Tamil Nadu from Nagarkoilai to Madurai. And apart from this, even in Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, Gujarat, Kerala, Maharashtra and Lakshadweep have important wind farms. Nagarkoil and Jaisalmer are well known for the effective use of wind energy in the country, the energy which has been produced with the help of the wind. Why we said that Gujarat and this area most? Because the wind power could be used specifically in the areas where you have a less of a vegetation, where the wind do not have a lot of obstacles. At the same time, we also have one more a non-conventional source of energy which has been basically used in a rural area, which is a biogas that is been produced from the shrubs, farm waste, animal, human waste. All this has been used in a rural area to generate a non-conventional source of energy, that is biogas. Now children, over here biogas plants are set up at a municipal, cooperative and regional levels, and the plant using cattle dung are known as gobar gas plants, specifically in rural areas. This biogas is, let's say, by far most efficient use of cattle dung, and it improves the quality of manure also. Then we have one more form of a non-conventional sources of energy, which is known as tidal energy. Tidal energy, children, means the energy which has been generated with the help of a tides. So tides, which you all might be knowing, that which you experience on the ocean. Do you know what happens? These oceanic tides, they can be used to generate electricity. Now during the high tide, the floodgate dams are built across the inlets. And during high tide, what happened? The water flows into the inlets and gets trapped. And accordingly, the gate is been closed. And after the tide falls outside the floodgate, the water is retained to the floodgate again back to the sea, and through a pipe it carries through a power generating turbines. Means the turbine is being generated with the help of that. And you know, in India, the Gulf of Kutch provides an ideal condition for utilizing a tidal energy. Around 900 megawatt tidal energy power plant is set up here by the National Hydropower Corporation. And the last non-conventional source of energy is children, geothermal energy. This geothermal energy refers to a heat and electricity which is being produced using the heat from the interior of the earth. You all know that the interior of the earth is very hot. If you go deep inside this earth, you'll find it's very hot from inside. And you know what happens? That this geothermal energy, it exists because of this earth grows progressively hotter with the increasing depth. As you go deep inside, it will become more hot. The temperature rises. So what happened? That when this geothermal gradient is high, the higher temperature found shallow depth, then groundwater in such areas absorbs that heat from the rocks and becomes hot. And it is so hot that when it rises to the earth's surface, it turns into a stream. And imagine how strong these streams are, that this steam is then used to drive the turbines and generate electricity. Children, there are several hundred hot springs in India which could be used to generate electricity. And you know that in our country, they did the 2 experiment projects have been set up. One is located in Parvati Valley near Manikam in Himachal Pradesh, and another is located at Puga Valley, Ladakh. So these are different kinds of non-conventional sources of energy which has to be used now, because it's high time when we need to shift from a conventional source of energy to a non-conventional sources of energy, so that our environment could be safe and energy could be used for a longer period of time. Thank you. Good morning.